Hey guys, welcome to our fourth episode.
Is it 4?
It's
episode 4.
episode
it's
4 of Sippin'
is been.
Brillin' with Sid and Mike. Cause that's
Or Mike and Sid.
or Mike. Well, yeah.
Actually, it depends on how you want to
How are you looking at it?
frame
That's
that.
true. That's true.
You know, are you reading from the left to the right or the right to the left? Do you even know your left from your right?
Yeah, well, apparently I don't, but that's okay. And I have definitely gotten it in the video from today that we posted on 3 Mississippi. A lot of your other comments.
Yep.
So he got me.
I'm sipping sweet tea today.
Yeah, he got me today. I'm just, again, water. I'm sorry, guys. So boring. Today, it's been a little bit of a day. I'll give you a quick rundown real quick. I know Mike had a busy day at work. I almost lost everything on my editing software. There was a new update and I had been putting off doing it. I always wait till they've been out for like a while before I click the update, but I'm like, oh, it's been like 6 months. It should be fine now. I did it and it threw everything into a tailspin and I spent the next hour and a half trying to get back to where I was before I hit that dreaded button. And thankfully I was able to get back to where I was, but Lordy, it was a nail biter there for a minute because I was really afraid. I was like, oh great, it's all gone. But no, it's not. It's okay. And I have stuff backed up. Like I have the files, but it was the thing I was actually editing that I was like halfway through. I was like, oh man.
Which video is that? What were you
That's the
editing?
one I was working on, the one that's coming out on Sunday of us going into the creek, you getting stung by the wasp.
Oh, yeah.
I had gone through, I had to carefully
I got to see a little bit of the footage of me flailing at the wasps.
there was a lot of cussing in the background, so I had to go through
beep
carefully and
that
edit.
right out.
I had to edit it out. And so I had done
I
all
don't
this.
cuss.
Okay. I had done all this careful editing and I was like, oh my gosh, please don't let it disappear. But it was all good in the end. So, I mean, the video's not done, but at least I didn't lose it. I did lose an hour and a half of my life that I'll never get back, but welcome to editing on YouTube. That is how it goes sometimes. So, right off the bat, want to say yesterday was, a lot of people left a lot of good comments. I know it was a little bit more somber of a topic.
It was a serious topic.
He even got, and in fact, I teased him afterwards. I was like, I kind of thought you were going to like tear up. And he's like, yeah, I almost did. Like, it was a very serious subject for him. And he's,
I'm not going to do that often, guys. Don't worry.
he doesn't cry a lot. He's not that guy.
No, I'm not the crying part. I mean getting serious.
Oh. No, but that's what you meant. But he's going through those things right now with Frankie, and it just kind of, I guess, is bringing up some of his better childhood memories for him. And
I hope that we bring up a lot of important subjects. We intend to, but I certainly will refrain to the best of my ability from spending 30 minutes on a very serious subject. And setting that somber tone. Although,
but it was like a thunderstorm.
I feel like it was well received.
Yeah, it was like a thunderstorm. It was like a whole mood.
And then there were deer out in the front yard in the rain.
Oh my gosh!
Remember that afterwards?
Yes. So,
whoa! How many of you all just saw that hummingbird?
Yeah, I don't know if
you
guys can see. We're sitting on
so
our.
So fast it flew by.
Yeah, we're sitting on our front porch, and I have like 3.
There's a hummingbird feeder right outside a frame, right above our head.
Yeah, and the hummingbirds have gotten so used to me being out on the front porch with them, because in the mornings when Frankie leaves for the bus, I sit with her until she leaves, and then I usually sit for between 5 to 10 more minutes and just enjoy the birds and the sunrise and just sitting outside in the quiet by myself. Sometimes I see deer and I just watch the birds, so they're very used to me being out here. And
there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them in the evening, and in the morning is like a massive amount of birds, and they just zip, 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 zip. I just love it. I love them.
And they're all over this gardenia plant.
Oh yeah, they love it. It's the bee's knees. So they're just darting everywhere. I love it.
I learned something awesome today from reading our comments.
Uh-oh.
Can I derail this?
Sure.
The gardenia plant just made me think of plants, which made me think of trees, which made me think of persimmons and the creek and the persimmon I found, and boom, all the dots got connected. I don't know how accurate or true this is, and I've not had a chance to fact check it yet.
Oh
but somebody on one of our comments today mentioned something about teaching me how to identify, how to clone male or female persimmon trees so that I could then have more trees that actually create persimmons.
That was Josh. I sent you his info. I sent you his
I
thing.
saw an email from you
Yes.
about it, somebody.
That was him.
All right, cool. So,
Josh.
bottom line is, I had to speed read through that. You know, I was really busy at work.
He also said that he has Pluot for you, and he can show you how to graft these trees and all that.
All awesome.
Yeah.
The most important thing I got out
And
of
he's close
this
by.
was
We think.
that not all percent. If this is true, and I still have to look it up and look into it, but if this is true,
Trust but verify.
not all persimmon trees make persimmons. There's
It's
a boy
like
tree and a
mulberry
girl
trees.
tree.
Oh.
That's the way I read it. So I got to look into this. And the reason this matters to me is because I located a tree that, based on the leaf, I was certain it was a persimmon tree. The bark, everything about it, I was like, that looks like a persimmon tree, but it had no persimmons on it. So I started thinking, well, is it unhealthy? Do I have a pest problem? What's going on? If this path that I'm now leading down is a truth,
Two truths and a lie.
then that answers that question. So
Yeah.
anyway, sorry for the derailment.
That's all right.
It's the gardenia plant's fault.
We're gonna blame the poor helpless little plant over there.
And what's cool is now a whole bunch of people are gonna do this research and help point me down the right path. Thanks. Just because I brought that up.
Right, there you go. No, but getting back to the whole yesterday's talk, and a lot of the comments were, people saying that it really made them nostalgic. And we've gotten that comment a lot lately with, the Mike teaching Frankie how to drive and the teaching her how to use the long rifle. And with all of those kinds of things, people just saying like, oh, this reminds me when I was 11 and I did this, or I was 13 and I drove my first car, and they're remembering, those times with their grandparent or their parent, and I just think it's really cool that it's bringing up those good memories for people. I really like that. I think that's kind of it was sort of an unintended side effect, I guess, of us filming that, and because at first I was like, I don't know, is that even like a video? Like, should we even put that? Like, are people gonna give us a hard time because we were teaching Frankie how to drive? But nobody said anything bad. Like, not one bad comment. Like, not one. Everybody was like, the only time where the fake outs were the like, oh, I can't believe you taught her how to drive. You waited until she was 12.
Right.
Like, you should have been teaching her before that.
Right.
But like, that was it. Like, so, nothing negative at all, which that's always good. Not that we expect it to be all positive rays of sunshine.
We
all
expect
the time.
everyone to agree with us 100% of the time.
No, we don't. But, it was just kind of, it's nice that sort of, like I said, an unintended side effect that people were like, oh, this is nice. I like remembering these times, it just makes them happy. And I like that. And then also everybody, just to say, which I know is lame, I guess, maybe, I don't know. But I do want to say I really appreciate, and we've gotten a lot of new people kind of joining our journey here lately, along with a lot of people that have been with us from the very beginning.
Yeah, we got people commenting that have been here since the beginning, and
they call themselves lurkers.
They just hadn't,
like
they hadn't been involved in a while, and now they're kind of chiming back in, and that's awesome. That's fun.
And everybody's just been very supportive of not only 3 Mississippi and the new name of 3 Mississippi from TCR, to Sippin' and Spillin', and us kind of, trying this new format and being able to kind of get a little bit more in depth and tell you some other stuff.
And it's been cool that there have been some people that have found somehow this brand new channel, Sippin' and Spillin', and had never heard of our other channel and wanted to know the other channel. So that's awesome,
yeah,
too.
that was kind of funny to me, too, because somebody had commented, like, oh,
how'd you find this channel?
Welcome to YouTube.
So new.
And like,
yeah.
And all this, and I was like, oh, we've been here.
Been here a minute.
We're not new, but this channel is new.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cute.
That's cool.
But yeah, I think that's neat. It's for some reason it's
a different format. I get it.
It's bringing a different, it's triggering a different algorithm, and it's bringing different people that are wandering in, and then like today, and it's funny, you toggle between your two things on your creator.
I haven't figured out how to
YouTube
do that on my phone
page.
yet.
I'll teach you.
I can only do it on my computer.
Yeah, so you can toggle between the two, and so what happens is like I forget what I'm under, and then I like today, like I hopped in Real Chat with SLR.
I missed that.
They're live.
It was at 6 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
And I was
you were still at
I
work.
was slammed at work, and I was mad because I heard you out there, and I heard them talking to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be in that live right now. Yeah.
No, I was in there, popped in there and was talking to him, but I forgot which channel I was on when I did it. And then I realized after I started talking, I was like, she may not even know it's me because it's brand new. And then she right away knew it was me, and which I was like, oh, cool. And then we were teasing because Gary blew out his Walmart Crocs, and so we were all like, you need to go get new shoes. like
Walmart Crocs, or like were they real Crocs bought at Walmart, or were they like a Walmart brand Croc?
Yeah.
Shame on you,
and
Gary. Get some good Crocs.
I was like, yeah. So I sent him a super chat, and I was like, you need to go Croc shopping.
There you go.
I was like,
people in Mississippi hate these.
I know. I was like, I have my Crocs on right now. I was like, solidarity.
Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
That's right.
I got him those. He'd been asking for Birkenstocks for ages, and I finally was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and get him Birkenstocks.
I love them.
And I got him for him a couple years ago, and he finally, he didn't wear them for a while. He was like weird, but now he wears them with socks. So I have mixed feelings about the whole situation now. But
That's right.
I too sometimes wear my Crocs with socks, so I guess I can't get too mad. But it's okay. It's it's a fashion statement that only some people are brave enough to make.
No. You need to understand. For me, nothing is a fashion statement.
That's true.
It's all about comfort.
That's true.
All about comfort.
That's true. Well, you did go buy all these shirts because Will told you had to have them in Mississippi.
Well,
because of comfort.
I'd love to rebuke that.
I know, because it's got the air holes. He likes
I had
the air
never
holes.
heard of these shirts, and the ventilation on these shirts.
Really
and then check this out. This is a magnet right here. Y'all listen. Watch. Listen. Y'all hear that?
I still don't.
That's a magnet. And that's where I keep my glasses.
Yeah, it's a pocket.
That is amazing.
It's a pocket.
I mean, this shirt was designed by a brilliant individual who enjoyed comfort in a working shirt.
Okay. Well, that's
what
fine.
you're saying.
But I think it was more peer pressure.
I'm not even trying to sell this shirt. I should probably cover the brand, right?
Yeah. But these shirts.
Yeah, it's a Drake.
These shirts you can buy. The link is on the thing.
Is it?
Yeah, I fixed it.
Oh, you figured out how to put the link on there?
I did. I figured out how to add the link in our About section on the channel, and I don't have a proper header yet on the main page, but I will get that and get all that done eventually. But today was a little.
We didn't plan on having 1,000 subscribers in the first
couple days.
2 days
yeah,
of
like
the
2
channel.
days. Yeah. So
that's awesome, though.
It is awesome, and we were like blown away by it, and we love it. But I just kind of, I don't know. I guess between the move and everything starting, I just feel like I'm about a half a pace behind on a few things that I am like still trying to figure out. So I'm just kind of trying to.
You're way ahead of me if you're only a half a pace behind.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. But
I bought a brand new, not brand new to me, old tractor, and literally have not used it.
He hasn't touched it. It's been sitting there. It's been, but you know what? It's funny because we don't have right now, like, just to give you perspective, today is September, I forget what the date is, 5th? 6th? No, I don't know. I don't even know what the date is today. It's so sad.
It's Wednesday.
Monday was the 5th, so it's the 7th. Yes, that's right. So, yeah, okay, you're special.
I was at work all day today.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I was working today. Anyway, so I just forgot what the date was. So,
I skirted through that. Did you see that? That was close.
Yeah. You're lucky I remembered what day of the week it is. Because that sometimes with the holiday on a Monday, I'm like, is it Tuesday? I don't know. Like, what? So anyway, it's Wednesday. I got that much. So we got here at the end of July. It took us another week to get all our stuff on the 25th. It took us like another week to get all, the last truck and everything here, and then we had a week to unload it. So it took a while. It was like, probably about 3.5 to 4 weeks before we had everything out and the house kind of put together, like to where I felt like, okay.
Yeah.
Because my OCD was like, oh my gosh, I can't live like this. I have to.
The garage and the shop are still a disaster.
Hot mess, and I cannot with them.
But inside the house looks like we live here.
Yeah, it looks like we live here. Like I've decorated, I've settled. I'm gonna do some painting eventually. We're not there yet, but whatever. But I just can't go out into the shop or the garage or look at the pile of boxes over there that make the empty boxes that are, yeah, that's a whole different, okay. That's another project for another day. Where was I going with this? Oh, so we haven't been here that long.
I'll tell you where you can go if you want.
So we haven't been here that long in like the scheme of things, right? So my point being is that we're still kind of doing like some of the settling in projects, I guess you could say, of like moving some things around and figuring some things out and kind of.
Oh, that was a good transition. You were transitioning into the projects right there.
Yeah.
With that big old long
But you
story.
didn't let me finish my sentence.
No, I was impressed at the transition you just made.
Well, it would have been a
Plus,
good
I wanted to
transition
see if you
you'd
could
let me
remember
finish
where
it.
you were at after I
No,
derailed you.
I won't. You know that. See, that's the problem. Okay. And I can't edit this. So, see, this is what he does to me, guys. Oh, man. Okay. So, yeah, in the scheme of things, we haven't been here for all that long, and in some ways I feel like, oh man, we should be doing this or building that or making that, because we have a lot of stuff that we want to get done this fall and winter before the heat gets real bad again. But between just kind of getting here, it takes forever to change your addresses on everything, to unpack everything, to figure out where the nearest bank is, like all that stupid stuff that you got to figure out when you move. Like, it's a lot worse, I guess, when you move out of state. Who knew? Anyway.
Right. Yeah,
But-
and you move to not only a new state that you've never been to and don't know
Teeny
anything
tiny town.
about, but a teeny tiny town that you don't know anybody in. And
Well, I can't say that now. We know a lot of people now. Like,
That's
yeah, it
true.
happened fast, too. Everybody's been very welcoming and nice.
Yeah.
But, like I said, so hang with us, because there are going to be a tremendous amount of different projects and animals and building and shenanigans. But right now, we're still kind of in that, like, figuring it out and planning phase, because the last thing we want to do is like, oh, we're going to build a chicken coop and we're going to put it right here. And then in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or 6 months from now, go, why did we put it there? That was the worst spot for it. Like, we should have seen where the rain ends up, or we should have figured out like this or that, or
Yeah, for those of you
know.
guys that found us through Sipping and Spilling, and we're not following our journey and and listening to our reasoning on how and why we did things and what our plans were. For those of y'all, welcome and thank you, first of all, and secondly, I made a commitment to myself that I was not going to do any projects
in the humidity.
until
Just
wintertime.
kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
Yeah.
One, because I didn't want to risk.
Well, no.
I didn't want a health risk
We should say
because
fall, not winter, because you said you were gonna once it
fall.
cooled
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Not till like there's an inch of snow on the ground. Or
Right.
something.
But I wanted to acclimate to this weather. And I think I'm about there, actually.
I mean, some days
Some days are
bleh,
thicker than others,
Yeah.
but I
but it's
feel
not that bad.
I didn't know what to expect. So before we left that completely dry environment to come to this wet blanket, I didn't want an expectation that I was going to build a chicken coop within the first week of being here, because if I allowed that expectation to exist, it would have existed. Because she wants chickens. She had already said, we have time to get chickens and have them feathered out and ready before winter. And I was like, not going to happen. Stop
I
it,
know.
stop it,
I
stop
did.
it.
Well, because I want to have, like, I have never
We'll
had.
have them in the spring.
I haven't had to buy eggs at the store in I don't know how long. And
7 years.
Yeah. Well, the first year they didn't hit maturity, so it was probably more like 6 years. But I don't like having to buy stuff like that at the store. And then somebody, like, I don't like having to buy meat at the store. It's killing me to have, and granted, I'm still buying like local meat and local stuff, but I'm like, oh, I should be making this myself, but we're just not there yet. And I need to
And it's a culture shock for us,
calm
right?
that down.
Because
What is?
to not have those things.
Oh yeah,
To
it's
not have the
super
animals, to
weird.
not have the chickens, to not have
It's
hogs or
super
goats or
weird.
sheep
like
or
my mornings that I'm not like obviously the few birds that we did bring, my peafowl, my geese, and like 2 random chickens and a turkey, because that's what I brought. It doesn't take me long to take care of them in the morning.
right.
Like, it's a quick chore, right? It's not like, oh, now I gotta go do this and I gotta change these guys' waters and these guys' waters and give them hay and move this and muck this stall out. Like,
You don't have any of that.
I don't have any of that. So I'm like, well, I guess
Yeah.
I'll go back inside and edit now. Like, I guess that was my outside time. Like, you know. So I try to, like, you know, take a little break and go, like, get some sun or go, you know, sit on the front porch or something, just to not, so I'm not just in the house rocking back and forth,
Right.
editing in front of the computer.
We're gonna do all those things. Those projects are coming,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
You know, I think the first really important project as far as those types of projects go for me is we should film it. Actually, we should film it because we may need boxing gloves, and that's gonna be us with paper
Oh gosh,
planning.
it's never good when there's paper involved.
Ugh. When we sit down and try to plan on paper, it's Armageddon.
It is. We don't.
But it has to happen.
It does, but it doesn't go well because here's the problem. This is my take on it. He gets very impatient with me, and I get very frustrated with him because I can't picture what he's saying to me, and I can't express what I'm visualizing. So what happens is this big hot mess of me trying to say in very bad terms what I can picture and cannot draw worth a darn. So I can't even, like, articulate
She could be
it.
picturing Mickey Mouse, and she would not be able to describe it
Yeah,
to you
That's true.
if you were making pancakes and she was like, make me a Mickey Mouse pancake.
Yeah.
Right?
So what I end up
she
having,
wouldn't be able to describe it.
So what I have to do, and I am not even kidding, I have to, like, go to Pinterest or go to Google and find images, and I have to say I want this piece from this thing, this piece from this thing, and I have to, like, basically, like, assemble it for him and show him, like, what I want, and then he has to try to
Which is awesome.
still figure out that vision from
And,
that.
and it's important because that gives me some of the granular, finite, finished details that are important and I want.
It's a struggle.
The struggle for me is applying bigger picture design build, if you will. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody with a construction background, you know, design build. You know, essentially just throw a bunch of bubbles up on the wall and label them. I want 6 stalls. I want a, you know, tack room. Okay, your design build concept is I want all of these things. All right, cool. Take it a next step further. How big of a footprint do we want to work with? And then start laying it out and designing it. And then now look at the property from an aerial view and say, where on the property are we going to put this barn? That's hugely important, right? And those are the pieces that we struggle with. When it comes down to the details, ooh, I like these types of stalls. I like these doors. I like these, you know, all of these, the smaller details. She finds really good ideas, and then we figure out how to put our twist on those ideas. But it's the bigger picture design that we struggle with.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll say, well, I need it to be this level of functional, and I need this.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Well, but then I'll, like, try to explain it to him, but then he's like, well, that's not physically possible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can't you just make it physically possible, because that's what I need. And so then we have to go back and forth, and then sometimes we don't communicate well, and then eventually a door gets slammed. But we're gonna try not to do that on these. We're gonna try.
I think when we sit down and start trying to lay out this upper, it's like 6 acres up here by the house, which is where I think we're going to focus.
Oh.
I think the barn is going to be somewhere up here on this upper 6 acres. And the chicken coop
I'm
and
still
see, I don't know.
not on board with that.
Hopefully.
I think it's weird, in a way.
But when we start laying all this out, I think we need to film it. I think it needs to be, we need to be drinking
Lordy.
we need to be sipping
I'm just
while
gonna
we're
say,
having that
there
meeting.
may be some episodes during that time frame where, like, I'm by myself just venting to you guys, and maybe vice versa, because I don't know. Sometimes that's when we struggle bus the hardest. But it, you know, the funny thing is like when things are really, really, really bad, we get through it just fine. It's the stupid stuff like that we can't, like, make it. I don't know.
It's anything that we,
Like, if there's a crisis, we pull together, we make it work, we're fine, like, and we're there for each other. But when it's something like this, that's like a voluntary thing that we're doing,
and we can't figure out how to communicate to the other what
then we
we
just
what
get
we think.
nasty. It's just,
Nasty? Oh, nasty!
Ew!
Oh.
You cannot say we don't get, like, there have been pencils thrown across the room when you get mad at me, when you're like, that's not possible. back to the drawing board. It's true. We get frustrated with each other, but we've also, you know, we've been together a long time, and I think a certain amount of like driving each other nuts at this point is just strictly mandatory.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't mean that, you know, I'm not trying to say we fight all the time, but sometimes when it's a project, it's a struggle because
it's the design of the project that's always the worst part.
Because we communicate very differently about it and have sometimes.
She expects me to read minds.
Yes!
Problem number one.
Yes! I don't know why that's so hard.
I can barely read where the red fern grows.
Well,
she wants me to read her mind.
I just feel like it's not that hard of a read. And on that note, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight on Sippin' and Spillin'. I think that's a good place to end it. I really do. We will see you guys tomorrow for this week's 5th and final episode tomorrow. That will be Friday, and I've got a good one for you tomorrow because man, whew, okay, I got more to come.
Oh,
there's more.
Whew.
I'm just kidding.
Do I need to call in sick for tomorrow's episode?
Oh lordy! All right, guys. Thank you. We appreciate you, and we will see you on the next one.